Hello, everyone. Today we have Paresh Masade here for GHRC Know Your Member with us. So, can we start with your introduction, Paresh, and also you can let us know about your journey to begin with Vaave.
Sure. Thank you very much, Ritika. So my name is Paresh Masade. I'm founder and CEO of Vaave. Vaave is a platform that helps colleges as well as companies engage with their alumni. We've been in the space for more than a decade, and we are the leaders in the space right now globally. To start with the journey, it started from I graduated from IIM Mumbai, and I went there from a tier two college here in Hyderabad. So the journey has been very different when I experienced what happens at erstwhile Niti, what's called, was very different. We used to have alumni coming back every other week, and realized that if you really wanted to change the quality of education, basically, because like the industry exposure that you got was coming from the alumni, and that doesn't happen in most of the institutions across India. And if you really want to change the employability or the quality of education, alumni play a critical role. And that was a trigger point when it started. And we said, let's change and help every other institution leverage the power of their alumni. And today we work with more than 1,000 plus institutions across India, which includes like top institutions like nine of the IIMs, five of the IITs, XLRI, IIFT, name any top institution, they would be working with us. And we recently also started with corporates. About 4 to 5 years ago, we started with corporates, and we work with more than 30 plus corporates with marquee names like Tata Steel, Bosch, Hero Motocorp, Virtusa, very large companies that we work with right now. And not only that, I also been in the space for more than a decade, right? So over a period, we acquired a lot of knowledge, and I run a program called Alumni Leadership Program, which is specially designed on how do you design and engage your alumni. And more than 700 plus alumni officers across India had participated in the program. That's a quick introduction of the company. Thanks.
That's really nice. So we can actually host a webinar, something related to that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so corporate alumni programs are becoming, increasingly popular. So can you tell us more about it and what's the need for organization to adopt it?
Yes. So this has been a trend. Corporate alumni programs are not very new as such. The concept has been there. Companies have been in touch with their ex-employees. But starting with the corporate alumni as a structured program has been in the latest trend. We are right now working with more than 30 plus large companies, and many smaller ones are also adopting to this. Now, the reason why companies try to engage with their ex-employee is because they realize that alumni are the source of talent for them. What in terms of one, they can tap into them whenever they require for a specific thing. They call boomerangs, right? When there's someone comes as a rehire to the same company. But not only that, like whenever you want to fill up a role, and alumni are the ones who can also give a very good referral, because it's that gone is the trend when you said there's someone who left the company and you terminate the relationship with them. It's always been that like, okay, he or she always has a very good relationship and wants to give back in terms of references to the company that they work with. And because they know the culture, they know the way the company operates, it's easier for an ex-employee or a rehire to come back. Usually there's a trend that says that it almost saves 30% of your hiring cost if you because you don't have to give them a training, they don't need to adopt any of those processes. They already know everything, right? Same is with the referrals. This is a very good rich source of referrals coming from, except if you already have a referral program for employees, why don't you extend that to an employee? So this is a thought process with companies, and they realize that this is a rich source of talent, and that's why they're trying to leverage their alumni networks. And not only that, one other interesting things that we have seen happening is that where they look at alumni as a source of subject matter experts, because lots of times these are experienced people who are leaving your organization after a decent amount working with the company. Now there could be someone who is left because he's a retiree, and but he must have built up a relationship with various partners, vendors, and others, right? So like say they're working with a government agency, this person can come and act as a subject matter training for your teams, right? So where they could also be as a trainers for your team. So there are a lot of companies who look out for gig works for the subject matter experts coming back and consulting them for various assignments. So this is alumni networks. Alumni are basically a rich source of talent, and companies really see tapping into that as a real value. And this has been a trend. I think we're going to see much more companies come adopted to this sooner.
So, building meaningful alumni relationship can seem like a challenge for many companies. You've already mentioned that. From
Right.
team perspective, what are the most common challenges they face, and what are the opportunities, or how does Vaave help them?
Right. So, whenever we speak about alumni, right, like the problem what companies think is that there are a lot of questions that unanswered because they never knew how to look at that. Some of the times, because some of the exits are always, some of the exits are voluntary, but there are many involuntary exits. Sometimes it's termination, there are disgruntled employees who are leaving, and companies think that how do I handle them? While they know that there's a rich source of talent, which is probably 90% of their ex-employees who left, but probably there will be 10% which you're not sure how to engage. And these are the questions that come up, right? Say, how do I engage? What kind of engagement programs should be running? What kind of data that I can share with them? What kind of information can I share with them versus I cannot share with them? Because there will be questions about, can you send out secrets about your company, which will probably go to your competitors? No, that's not about alumni because it's a more of a relationship. You can't share any confidential information on that. But these are questions that are unanswered, and that's the reason companies are a bit hesitant enough to start off with a program. The moment this happens, right, there are always ways you can actually leverage and do this. Now, simple things is, right, okay, where do I start with is a very simple answer. First, start with providing an exit experience, like very good exit experience to your ex-employees. And it could be exit experience by because most of the large organizations are the best places that you work already have a very decent exit process. Even if there's a termination, they know how to do that. Their process is laid out for a termination, and it's not that always the relationship is bad. Okay, there's probably very less number of percentage of relationships are bad. It's always the reasons that are beyond your control sometimes at the least. So if you are looking at a very good exit experience, it's simple that, like say, if I need a document, a Form 16 or a payslip, can I get it within time? So if, like say, someone requests a document and it doesn't come to them within a week, you're leaving a very bad experience for them, right? So a simple ticketing system solves it, or a integration with your DMS document management system where they can go and access and download creates a very different experience to an ex-employee. And that's where, because we know that the reviews on Glassdoors are impacted by ex-employees. Right? All of this actually changes the image and the branding of a company, which is a potential to even attract a lot of good talent. The question you were asking was about
How would
where do companies
Vaave?
start,
Yeah.
right? So maybe we'll just start there. So basically, the challenge with the companies is that most of the companies do not know where to start, and the reason would be there are a lot of employees, ex-employees specifically. A lot of times, the terminations are sometimes voluntary. Most of the times, voluntary, but sometimes they are involuntary, and they don't know how to handle the disgruntled employees. What I've seen is that for the companies which have a decent process, right? Most of the large corporations already have a decent process. They are already get places to work, and not all terminations are bad. Only very less number of them are bad. So companies do not know where to handle this. Uh, One of the best things to start off would be is provide a great exit experience. Now, how does that work? Is like say if some alumni is asking for a document like a Form 16 or a slate, if they're not able to get that within a specified period of time, like or there is get delaying for more than a week, they get upset, and that's where they go back and say that experience is bad. So all you can do is start with an experience which can actually say a simple ticketing system can actually solve the problem. Or a integration with a document management system where they can just log in and download this document can solve a problem, and that creates a great experience. Hey, the company cares about me even after I exited, and that's the way probably they will probably go back and give it really good reviews. You can impact the reviews on Glassdoor or any other review sites where which will again impact your way you attract the talent to the company, right? So providing a great exit experience is a first step probably, or maybe even things like how do you communicate, like so basic updates about what is happening at the company, what are the new things that the company is doing, how company is spending into innovation, new things that in terms of new policies, new designs that the company is doing. So all of that can actually be a very insightful for to attract the talent back. So a communication system and then a nice exit experience is something that the companies can start with easily without any major.
So, that what does the process followed by Vaave when it comes to these experiences?
Yes. So simple things again, like say for an exit experience, right? So we have something like a ticketing system where alumni who wants a document or a PF or payslip can raise a ticket, and then it goes to a specific department within the company. It could be a general HR for a payroll team or something, and then they can return back the document using the ticketing system. Now, this ensures that there's an SLA. Now, where companies already have a ticketing system in place, like ServiceNow or something, we integrate with the existing system. So, alumni portal becomes the face of the for the alumni to log in, but then the ticket is getting created in your internal system. So, we have integrations done there, which automates and solves a lot of problems. For a lot of other companies, we have integrated with their HRMS system and their document management system, where the alumni can log in and download the like say last 6 months pay slips at any point of time, right? Or maybe download your PF document or any other documents. Like one of the companies, large public companies that we're working with, they give pensions to the alumni, so they can just log in and download their pension documents to the platform. This reduces a lot of manual efforts for a company. So we've seen companies which had 4 to 5 people working for alumni services, cutting down their team to almost one person. Now one person entirely handles a service request coming from alumni. So that is a huge change in the way companies can leverage their alumni portal for the productivity improvements. This is a simple example on how companies have been leveraging it, because for an end user, for an alumni, it's an interface where they log in and access. For internal systems, it's easier for to manage the ticketings and other requests that are coming from alumni. And this is a primary use case. Like there could be other things that we work with for finding a talent and other things, but primary thing is giving that experience.
Okay, understood. So we have heard of concept like boomerang hiring and alumni
Yes.
referrals gaining traction in HR circles. So how do you see these trends reshaping talent strategies, and what roles do alumni network play in driving them?
Yes. So boomerang is a very boomerang is, even if you don't say that, that always happens, because if there's a team lead who knows that someone was very good in his team and has left, or someone who, and what happens is that most of the times if the manager is available, he would probably reach out to them personally and get him back. Okay. So coming people going back and joining those companies after a couple of years of break has been a trend across. And the reason, like we spoke about, it reduces the cost of hiring by 30%, right? Because one, they know the process in the company, they know the culture, they know the systems that are working, and it's easier to onboard them very well. And they also know that the company is really good, because people join back, just that they must have left there for thinking about some greener postures, or maybe changing in the team, changing the role, whatever the reasons are. Now, this concept has been applied across, and we have some real data numbers that we saw. Like for a company that we've been working with, which has about more than 9,000 people who are registered on the portal, almost 1,600 of them have joined back the company who are registered on the alumni platform. That's a huge number, almost 15% or 10 to 15% what we are looking at. Now, when you're seeing the real results coming like that, now we were looking at what are the reasons why people leave a company or probably look out for joining them. Yes, a few things that the companies always look at. So there could be a lot of people who join the company and leave for a couple of further studies abroad. Okay, they stay at the company for a couple of years, look out for going into a new country. They do their masters there and then again looking for a job. So for them, coming back to the same company, maybe an organ if it's an MNC, you already have a company there, right? So you can actually help probably your global teams hire this talent. Right. And this is a very win-win, because you know the culture, you like the company, you left for a reason that was very beyond your control. Right. And maybe same thing happens with also diversity hiring, right? Specifically when you're looking for female talent, right? Women who want to return to work after their career back. Maybe they could leave the company for maternal reasons, for maternity, or probably for specifically in India, we also see a lot of women take career breaks after marriage, right? They want to rejoin the company and they don't know where to start. If there's a company, the first company they were working with wants to welcome them, it's very win-win for both of them. You are looking out to retain your talent, uh, and also you're creating opportunities that are relevant for those women who left the game. So these are the specific use cases that we see have seen traction as well. So companies can look out for diversity hiring, companies look out for global hiring from these alumni. And absolutely, boomerang is a core. And then referrals is something that we spoke about, right? Like uh, always will be that most of the senior level hires happen through referrals. Okay. And I don't have a number right now to say how much of that, because we, as an industry, we know that every senior level hire happens through referrals, and alumni are very keen at providing referrals. And if you can extend your referral program to alumni, there's nothing like that. So we've been working with this. We see real results, like I said, almost 10 to 15% rejoin from a company that we work. And what we have done at Vaave is that we have built something called a Boomerang AI, which is an AI platform. What it says is, uh, based on the requisition ID, you can just type in a requisition ID and it will suggest alumni who will be most likely joining your company back, based on the relevant score as well as the time that they spent in the company. We have used various algorithms to actually get around. It shows that people, and then you can just do an outreach to them saying that we have an opening for you. Would you like to join back?
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So technology is revolutionizing and how companies engage with their people. So what role do innovations like AI and analytics play in reimagining alumni engagement? And where do you see the space heading in the next few years?
Absolutely. So AI is taking over everything. We all know that. We've been hearing all of that, and we have been forefront of implementing AI in everything that we have been doing. Like I just said, we started with Boomerang AI, where we are using AI to analyze and matching the algorithm, matching the profiles to the jobs. So this is a very simple use case of an AI where you're leveraging the data to match and show that. But that's not only thing about an alumni platform and the data, because alumni platform is rich of data that you can use to analyze where your employees are heading. Like say, you can use that data to analyze which companies they are moving to. Are they moving to your competitors? Are they going to your partners? What kind of companies these alumni are moving to? And that's a rich source of looking at understanding why are they moving there, right? And it could be if you can make them as a cohort and do a cohort-based analysis, you can actually tell which years they left and they joined other companies, or where they how is the career path progressing. So all of these are very interesting things that you can do when you have the data about where are they moving, because as long as they're the employees, you get to know where are they coming from. Okay, but you could use that to make decisions about what are the reasons people are leaving the company, changing their career paths. What are the reasons? Like say, many of them probably moved to US, right? You can think about, okay, this is where my most of my employees are moving for the studies abroad. Like, could it be that I can do some design some programs in partnership with universities abroad so that they'll stay back with the company? Could you create some certification programs that can so the data, so what alumni portal brings is a very interesting data points, and if you can use that and connect the dots, and you can actually make some decisions that are very interesting for any of the companies in terms of understanding where their people are heading forwards. And that's not all, right? Even like say, you can do surveys. So one of the companies that we work with, we did an employee ex-employee survey, and almost 82% of the respondents said that they are willing to come back to the company. Now that was a very interesting. It was a great place to work, but 82% said that they want to come back, give it a chance again. They probably didn't get a right chance or a right opportunity when they were second. Now that's a good sign of, hey, how are you progressing as a company and thing. But it also says that even when alumni respond to a survey like that, it's a clear sign that you are building a great culture. Because when you do a survey post exit, exit surveys, we all know that exit surveys are always like, okay, you give out because you don't want to make a bad relationship with the company. But once you leave, you are giving a more frank, direct, candid feedback, which is very important when you want to analyze things, when you want to get this feedback about the policy or whatever that you're doing at the company. So data like this, doing a surveys about policies, doing the surveys about, I think will actually are good data points for you to analyze what you're doing. So very interesting use cases where AI can help. AI is again, AI we see that is changing the entire environment. We've been doing some things in the agentic frameworks where what we do is figure out like entire journey of a person and how they are relevant to your organization. I can't disclose a lot of things right now, but we are working on lots of interesting AI part there. And I think every company is going to work on that. There's no doubt in the next coming years.
Everything actually seems very interesting because, we always know that there is onboarding and there is exit. But today we are kind of discussing about something that is after exit and some
Yes.
things that are very much attractive, even, post the exit phase of an employee. That's really interesting.
And when what we see is the real value is the consulting and gig work. These are subject matter experts, and companies like consulting companies, especially, or the companies that are very traditional, which has knowledge that built, which can't they can't find the knowledge outside. You can't really learn these things directly. These are relationship based, right? So those things are where you tap into. You may not want to rehire always. It's not just a transactional part, but you can use their expertise, and they're always willing to come back. So this is a very interesting real ROI that you can see when companies leverage their subject matter experts.
So for organization considering an alumni program, where should they start?
Yeah. So this is for me, I think it's very simple as well. So start with uh, providing an exit. So we have seen companies very small, as small as probably someone who has a 200 people company as well. They start very early. Very large organizations have very complex processes where they would want to provide a lot. But I would say start with a simple alumni platform. Okay, simple alumni platform with a page saying that why do you really care about your alumni? Something that says, symbolizes that you care about your alumni. A page on your portal can work, but a platform like ours actually makes a lot of sense there, right? Because you actually can communicate to them, you can publish news, create events, all of that happens, right? So that's a communication platform you start with. And the first thing as a service that you would want to provide to ex-employees would be the exit experience, right? You start with, because there's always going to be the cases where they need some documents post, and for an organization large enough, they don't know whom to reach out, because even the boss may not be with the company, or the HR may not be with the company, and they don't know whom to reach out to for the anything that they need currently. And there's not a single source of a point of contact where they can reach out. So alumni platform like ours with an exit experience is something that they can start off with easily. Because the moment you get a great exit experience, that's the starting point. If you, this is a, like what you say is a necessary thing before you even think about something else. Post that, you can think about how do you engage them with interesting activities, or how do you attract them back or seek referrals from them. But the starting point would be is simple exit experience with an alumni platform.
Okay, that's interesting. So I am done with the questions from my end. Is there anything else that you would want to let our GHRC community know?
Nothing specific, I think, but one of the things is like, yeah, this is the new trend. I think alumni relations, and specifically in corporate alumni space, is a big thing that's coming up. I think most of the companies will sooner or later start realizing that it's not even they will invest in alumni, and they know the value of what's going to happen when they engage with it. So I would want to say maybe GHRC community, if you can actually tell us feedback about what are the areas we should be looking into. We should be streamlining streamlining the processes for them, because we've been doing things. But if community can come together and help us, that will be really awesome, and we will be at first thing to adopt them. We'll be the first ones to adopt anything that you're going to share.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paresh, for sharing the insights and giving your time for GHRC today. Yeah.
Thank you, Ritya. Thank you very much.